What is crack-a-lackin', everyone? This is Renel Z coming back at you with another Honkai Star Rail video, and today I figured we would actually talk about 4.0 and whether or not it's a good version. Now, it's not over just yet, so I guess there's still a little bit to be, achieved with the rest of the time that's here, but pretty much everything has dropped at this point, though, so I feel like this is a good point to talk about it. Done with the story. I'm done with pretty much everything else. So, real quick though, as per usual, do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe so we can continue to grow the channel. And let's get right into it. So, oops, I'm in the middle of freaking farming right now for Sparks. I figured I might as well talk while we're doing it. So, overall, I would say I think it's a good patch. Now, you guys let me know in comparison to every other 0.0 patch what you guys think, but I think it's between this and Amphorius for having the best 0.0 patch. I mean, Pinakani's got a good one too, but I feel like it's between these two. The story seemed to be a little better in both Amphorius and Pinarcadia. And honestly, much of a big fan as I am for Amphorius, it is kind of cool to have Pinarcadia where stuff just isn't as serious. I mean, obviously Elation, right? So probably is supposed to not be super duper serious every single time. It's very clear that we'll be getting into the more serious stuff sooner than later, though, since the whole Phantasmoon games are popping up now and everything. I will say, I do think the story wasn't the best thing ever, but since it is a starting patch, right? So it's, 0.0 patch, you gotta introduce the new world, you gotta introduce the new characters, you gotta set everything up. So with that, I do think it did well, though. Well, it seems to be very inclusive. I like the exploration this time. There's a good amount of variety in the exploration as well. I think my favorite place is probably the World's End Tavern right now. Especially with that freaking track, dude. I'm sure you guys are hearing it right now. So, no doubt that's probably there. But, I mean, as much as I like Japanese, schools and their designs, because anime and all that business, I don't know how much I loved enjoying... I don't know how much I loved Graphia Academy. It was interesting. Another thing is, low-key, I kind of feel like they should have given us a sprint key for when we go into that 2D mode where we're playing quote-unquote pom-pom. Not actually pom-pom, but I feel like that would be a little better. I guess we'll look at the characters real quick. Okay, Sunday for sure. Big fan. I'm a big fan of current Sunday. I liked him before, but now it's like he's gonna get an even bigger role now that he's a part of the Phantasmoon games. I do think we'll get more explanation later as to who or what the deal is gonna be later on with Evanesha. Yao Guang, we didn't really know too much about either. And then one interesting thing is the whole Sparksy stuff. I thought that was low-key it for her. I thought that was done, but clearly she's not done yet. I guess I should have prefaced that it would be some semblance of spoilers in here, but I mean, I try not to talk about spoilers too much on this channel anyway, so maybe not the biggest deal ever. Definitely do think that they could have been a little better with Sparksy, though. I think her story for existing was fine. It makes enough sense, but I don't know. Maybe it's also the thing where they're going to talk more about Sparksy later, but I kind of feel like her explanation for existence was kind of just whatever. It made enough sense, but wasn't really that interesting. And we've seen this whole living creature thing that shouldn't actually be alive, but since it's the situation that it is with the world, they could just stay alive. Like the kind of like Pinacon, we already had this kind of aspect from there. We pretty much had already seen that type of thing with like the origami birds, all those other ones as well. So it's just, we've somewhat seen this before, so I'm a little hesitant to say that it's unique in that way because it's kind of not super duper unique. I love the visuals of Planet Arcadia though, if nothing else. I think that place looks awesome. It might be my favorite designed like just areas to explore so far. I mean, Amphorius has it's that or Amphorius, but I do like the smaller scale of Planet Arcadia so far. Then, can't think of what else I want to talk about that's not too in depth because honestly, I might do another more in depth video on it later. But, yeah, I don't know. There's not that much else to talk about, I guess. There's a good amount of stuff that's going on, but it's a setup patch. There's not as much to talk about since it is a setup patch. Setup seems like it seems nowadays though, Hoyo tends to do pretty well with setup patches. It's just whether or not you personally connect with it. I myself am, I mean, I love Japan, right? I'm sure this might be a little obvious by now. If not, then guys, I love Japan. So obviously I'm gonna like any place that's gonna be designed like it. One thing I do hate, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but supposedly they were supposed to have sakura trees all around Planet Arcadia, but they changed it with the blossoms instead of it being, you know, the pink one for the cherry blossoms or sakura trees, whatever you want to call them. They made them yellow or orange, one of those two colors, and I'm just kind of like, man, it would look so much better with that. I'm sure this was because of all the tensions, but, you know, with China and Japan and all that. But man, why do we gotta suffer for that? That would look so much cooler to just see sakura blossoms like falling all around us. And I guess that's another thing. I don't know. I guess you do have to talk about the delay at least a little bit. I think this is a great patch. It's probably one of the best patches we've had in a while. We got a free 5-star of your selection. Maybe some of these characters aren't the best ever anymore, but getting a free Sparkle when you didn't have one, or a free Eidolon for Sparkle, or a free Kafka and a free Kafka Eidolon means a lot, especially because current Sparksy team, you want Sparkle, and then for the Dot team that just ran this patch in the first half, or in the second half when I'm recording this, you need Kafka. So if you don't have her, I mean, because Hysolins and Black Swan could work, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as well as just having Kafka on the team. And they gave you the option to pick between either of the teams, since they're both going to clearly be meta relevant for at least a little while longer. And you know what? That does matter a lot. And there's been, I guess that's another thing, there's a lot of pulls that are here this patch. I just haven't really attained everything I wanted. Picks for me for banners, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of annoyed personally, because this is like the last patch that the game could have possibly screwed me over, and it did it. It 100% did it. I'm not gonna get all the characters I want, because I got really unlucky for pulls. Like the first half, we got lucky for Hysolins and her cone, but after that, the game was just like, oh, you're done, bud. You're done. That's it. So I wanted Evernet pretty badly, couldn't get her. I wanted Yao Guang. I don't see any way we're getting Yao Guang, at least with this. I'm not seeing any... I see no way. We did get Sparksy, but that was on guarantee. We got Black Swan, that was on guarantee. And then... we're going for Sparksy Cone as we speak. Maybe I'm a little slower to think because this is live gameplay, believe it or not. I'm doing this freaking unknowable domain run right now, since I need pulls pretty badly. I think we'll be able to get the cone. It's just I've already got stuff to do, and there's like a little tidbit of freaking Jade right here that we could pick up, so that's why I'm doing these. Anywho, I want Sarija pretty badly, but again, we can't really pick her up. It's not happening. Eidolon for Sparkle would have been nice too, but I mean, I chose Aventurine, my goat, for the free 5-star, so it is what it is. Yeah, I think that's pretty much about all I had to talk about this time around. Overall, I would say good patch. If I had to rate it, I'm trying to take my pull luck outside of the equation. So without that, maybe I gotta give it a little leeway because it's a setup patch. So I'm between maybe like 7.5 to 8. I'm thinking. This is we're talking about specifically 4-star row, right? So like a 10 maybe would be. I don't know, we'll just use like Evernight Story as an example. Not Evernight, Don Hong. We'll just say that it's like a 10 out of 10. I don't know if I would exactly say it's a 10 out of 10, but whatever, just for argument's sake. In terms of Star Rail itself, I probably would give it maybe like a 7.5 to 8 for the new one. Or the, 4.0. Good patch. I just think that there could have been a little bit of, a few changes that they could have made to make it way better. Like the main thing for me, right? I think they should have ran Sparksy in the first half. I don't know what they were doing with that. It works out in a way because I got to get the entire Dot team because we only had Kafka. We didn't have literally any other character. So, we really didn't have Dot, and now we do. I guess I could have diverted a cost for Hysolence to get Yao Guang potentially here, but we'll get everything running eventually. It's not even like Yao Guang is that amazing with Sparksy. She's very, very good, but they're not like... They don't work hand in hand. Like, they're not like a Dahlia Firefly situation, or Kafka Hysolence, or maybe... I can't think of who else is tied at the hip. Maybe like a Sunday Saber situation. Stuff like that. We'll see as the 4.0 plus, version 4 evolves. Hopefully, Anniversary is going to be really nice for us because there's some pretty nice stuff coming up for Anniversary, and I'm hoping that there is a boatload of pulls so that we can get everything that we're looking for. But if you got this far, do let me know. If you did pull for 4.0, and if you didn't, who of these Planar Kitty characters are you interested in? Do let me know. And I will have to depart here for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Laters.